Sure, you might know what a T206 Honus Wagner is, but what else do you know about arguably the most important set in sports card history? If your answer is not much, don't worry. Even the most studious historians and biggest baseball collectors often come up with more questions than answers when talking T206. So why is the set so important? What makes it so hard to pin down concrete print run information? And will we ever know how many different versions of these cards exist? To find the answers, let's start with the basics. T206 cards were produced by the American Tobacco Company from 1909 to 1911. They were included in tobacco products as a protective barrier for the contents within, and to add some promotional power. The T206 moniker itself was created decades later by pre-war card aficionado Jefferson R. Burdick. The T stands for tobacco. The 206 represents the sequential numbering system Burdick used to identify sets from that era. The set also has a couple of other names. One is the White Border series, thanks to a signature design element. The other, the Monster. That nefarious name stems from the sheer number of card variations in a true master set. It's these variations and the mystery surrounding them that have captivated collectors for more than a century. There are 524 generally accepted lithographic illustrations in the set. These are often called subjects. Some popular athletes such as Ty Cobb, Cy Young, and Christy Mathewson have multiple T206 subjects. Hal Chase leads the way with 5. He's got 2 portraits, one with a pink background and one with a blue background. 2 subjects depicting him throwing a ball, one with a dark-colored cap and one with a light cap, and one where he's holding a trophy. A checklist of 524 cards is certainly large, though not considered particularly massive by modern standards. But nothing in collecting matches the checklist required to assemble a truly complete T206 set. That's because there are multiple variations of each subject. As we saw with Chase, some subjects were printed with different background colors on the front. But most of the variations are found on the backs of these cards. When the ATC produced a card for one of their tobacco products, they printed the name of that product on the back of the card. For example, this Cy Young subject of him throwing with his glove visible was included in multiple ATC products, including Piedmont, Sweet Caporal, and Tolstoy. Cards were produced across 3 different print runs. These are noted by different series of 150 subjects, 350 subjects, and 460 subjects. The factory from which the products were distributed is also printed on the backs of the cards, adding another layer of variation. While hardcore T206 historians have done their best to conduct surveys and scrutinize public listings and pop reports, the exact details around the where, when, and why of many of these cards remain still unclear. Remember that monster nickname we talked about before? Well, it arises from the fact that some believe there are more than 6,000 total T206 variations. That's a daunting number. Combine that with the incredible rarity of some of the issues, amassing a true master is just about impossible. There's believed to be less than 100, potentially as few as 60, Wagner T206 copies known to exist. That scarcity, combined with the age of the card and the popularity of the set, means it's front-page news anytime one is sold. In 2021, an SGC 3-graded Wagner with Sweet Caporal advertising on the back set a trading card record when it sold for $6.06 million. The following year, an SGC 2-graded copy of the same card broke that mark by going for $7.25 million. But the Flying Dutchman isn't the only player that's nearly impossible to find. Eddie Plank copies and early printings of the Sherry McGee portrait that featured incorrect spelling are among a handful of rarely seen white border issues. The extreme volume of subjects and scarcity of many issues might initially seem like barriers to entry, but they've actually encouraged people to devise different ways to collect T206 cards. Some choose to target issues with specific types of advertising on the back. Others go for collecting factory locations, subject numbers, or every variant of individual players. These different tactics have helped sustain interest in the set for more than 110 years. From headliners Wagner, Cobb, Young, and Mathewson to memorable names of yesteryear such as
Bunk, Gungleton, Steamer Flanagan.
The T206 set is full of characters and characteristics that make it one of the most intriguing releases of all time. Learn more about this monstrous, momentous set in our definitive guide.